Welcome to the SEA Center's new podcast, Perspectives. We are a New Delhi based think tank, and this podcast is a platform for our researchers to discuss technology policy issues in an accessible format. In today's episode, we discuss how Anil Kapoor found himself on the 2024 Times Most Influential People in AI list for defending his personality rights against AI manipulation. We explore how the personality rights of artists can intersect with generative AI, the benefits and fears therein. So, AI has been all over the news lately. It's such a buzzword, everyone keeps talking about it. And the other newsmaker in India, which is Bollywood, had its own encounter with AI recently. The actor Anil Kapoor, he found himself on the 2024 Times Most Influential People in AI list. Now one would wonder, what does Anil Kapoor have to do with AI? But turns out last year in September 2023, he managed to successfully defend his rights in his face, his likeness, his voice that are attached to these human attributes against AI, AI related misuse. That is more specifically using generative AI to create deep fakes or voice clones of cartoons that are based on Anil Kapoor's image and his personality. And that's what landed him on this list.
Right. So there's a lot of discourse about AI manipulation, personality rights, particularly in terms of celebrities. So when it comes to AI, you need data to train AIs, and celebrities are an easy target for it because they generate so much content that you can program such AI models very easily or relatively easily. And we've seen this happen a lot. We've seen a lot of courts across the globe battling with personality rights, copyright issues in terms of using their face, their voice, likeness, and even catchphrases to a certain extent. And there's a lot of precedential development there, which we will be getting into definitely. But I think there's also broader analysis to be had here. Because, for example, voices like Amitabh Bachchan's are very recognizable. And now they're being used to send KBC-based fraud messages on WhatsApp, which defraud people of a lot of money because people have this trust towards Amitabh Bachchan. And now this is still a level of parasocial that people are used to. Another deeper level of parasocial relationships are Twitch streamers. And people are even more, familiar with them, and they think they know them really well. So when you get messages from them, or when you get AI manipulated content of them endorsing certain things that are questionable, people will start to believe that these are their content creators, and there might be a disconnect between them as well. And we've also seen certain explicit videos being made of streamers and other celebrities without their consent. So I think this is a very pertinent issue to delve into, and the recent judgments should definitely provide a good backdrop to it.
Right, Chhavi. You mentioned parasocial relationships because people see celebrities as human beings, as a person, and that's where this concept of personality rights comes from. Our face, our voice, something that we might say, it's all related to our innate human nature. And in Indian law, it's even traced to your right to privacy, that it all comes from your right to privacy. And that's why every human being has the right to defend their own personality, and people can't just use it for commercial purposes without their permission, especially with celebrities, because there's such economic benefits to be had from a celebrity's image. So in Anil Kapoor's case, turns out there were a bunch of GIFs, cartoons, and deepfake videos circulating around on a number of websites using his image. Also, a lot of other actresses, and like you said, in compromising positions, and completely illegal stuff was happening. And Anil Kapoor went to the Delhi High Court against this, and the Delhi High Court very strongly agreed that yes, he has a right to defend his personality rights, and such AI manipulation or any other form of violating someone's personality rights is not acceptable. They even passed a blocking order against all these URLs and websites where these illegal GIFs or images and cartoons were being shared.
Yeah, it's interesting because Anil Kapoor also turned out to be pretty influential. And it actually shows you the Arijit Singh case, which happened subsequently before the Bombay High Court, shows you how this is still a live issue. So at Arijit Singh, kind of a similar parallel. You had a bunch of AI platforms that allowed users to convert text, audio files, and speech into synthetic voices that sounded a lot like Arijit Singh. Some of them were even trained on 400 or more songs sung by him. And so he approached the Bombay High Court for interim relief. This matter is still pending final adjudication. But essentially, the court here cited Anil Kapoor to say we've established that Arijit is a celebrity. We've shown that celebrities must have personality rights and are entitled to protect them. And this includes, like you said, name, likeness, voice, manner of speaking, etc. And the court actually came down pretty heavily on generative AI. And it said, it is actually shocked. It's shocked its conscience that artists are so vulnerable to generative AI, not only because it has economic consequences for them, but also, like you were mentioning, with the pictures with actresses and so on, it could be used for nefarious purposes as well. So what the court here ultimately ordered as interim relief is it said that all these AI platforms and there were also a bunch of videos, by the way, where people were instructing others on how they can use these platforms step by step to generate all this content. So it wasn't just those platforms. But essentially, the court said stop this sort of infringement of personality rights. And also from those videos, which were instructional, take away the references to his name, image, persona, etc. This matter will now be taken up in November. So it remains to be seen how it will flesh out. But again, a very interesting development in the Indian landscape.
Yeah, this issue is open not just in India, it's worldwide. Whether or not it reaches the courts, people are very concerned about their personality rights. There's this famous actress, Scarlett Johansson. She had incidentally voiced an AI system in the movie Her. And turns out OpenAI was trying to launch their voice mode feature for ChatGPT called Sky. And the voice of that feature sounded scarily like Scarlett Johansson's own voice. Now, Scarlett Johansson has claimed that her voice has been, unlawfully used to train the voice model, and she didn't give consent for it, even though she had been approached initially. Now, we don't know whether or not that is true. OpenAI says that they hired a completely different voice actress to train their AI system. But anyway, they have temporarily suspended this feature that sounded a lot like Scarlett Johansson. And that again opened up this conversation around personality rights, that she is a famous personality. Her voice is very recognizable. Even if you have a second person who is sort of mimicking her record for the AI, is it allowed? This is something which the president is not clear on it. Whether it will go to courts or not, we don't know. A lot of this could be just decided out of court in negotiations and settlements, because ultimately, what do artists want? They want their value to be respected. That could be through remuneration or royalties, upfront payment, that between them and the production companies or AI companies. So there are a lot of artists, even the Hollywood Screen Actors Guild strikes last year. This was a main point of negotiation, that we want the right to say yes or no if our image or our voice will be used to train AI models that can be then used to create new movies and feature films. So artists are very concerned about how they're going to be vulnerable to generative AI.
Right, so there's a lot of harm that comes from AI manipulation and such content. And however, there's also a good part of it. And there have been cases where people have come up with very engaging content because of AI. And this is without harming people, even when celebrity lookalikes are created. So we have something called the Athene AI or Athene AI show. I'm not really sure about the pronunciation, but it's a very popular show on YouTube. And that this content creator basically streams with the AI versions of various celebrities. So there's a Joe Rogan version of it. There are even political figures. But there's a disclaimer always displayed that this is AI generated and this is a parody of actual events. And actual opinions of those individuals are modeled in weird ways to give a very entertaining and funny experience. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And there are also other content creators like Hassan Piker who've basically allowed their own communities to build AI models of them as a feature which is added on top of the platform to enrich the experience. So people can have more of an enjoyment of having conversations without the creator, but without the creator being involved with it or being overburdened by interacting with so many files. So I think these use cases are very good examples of how AI can be used. And all you have to really do is not look at, take due consent and only use AI in a manner that doesn't harm the original individuals. And that is why I think a lot of celebrities have also endorsed it, like Grimes, who has herself created numerous songs and lullabies using AI and also has endorsed AI art. So I think, yes, AI is something that can be terrible and has a lot of potential to have a negative impact, but it can also lead to a lot of good, interesting, and entertaining content being produced.
So I guess the final call that the Indian courts and what plain logic seems to say is that take consent. There is no doubt that every human being, especially celebrities, have certain personality rights, and you can use AI to create entertaining content, but only if the person whom you're modeling your characters on actually give permission for the same. Once you've taken that consent, then well, the sky is the limit for your creativity.